Welcome, everybody, to the F4 Hunger Awareness Show.
It's my goal to feed 1 billion people before I die.
We want to bring awareness around the issue of hunger and food insecurity.
7 to 8 million people served so far. With the sole goal of eradicating world hunger by connecting sources of food to recipients in need. Fiorenza's Food for Friends.
Hi, Derek Fiorenza with F4 on the Fiorenza's Food for Friends Hunger Awareness Show. And I'm joined by my partner and colleague.
Isabella Ambrosino.
And we're very excited today. We have a special guest that's joining us, Jim Petro. He is with Triple Fresh, and he's got a really unique story. He's going to take us into his background, kind of how he got started, and the work that Triple Fresh is doing in the community. They've been able to do a lot. They've been a mainstay for many, many years. They also have been working with F4 on food recovery. We've done a lot of food rescue missions together, and so we're very grateful to have Jim with us today. So with that, we'll kind of get things started. Jim, we'd love to hear a little bit about you, your background, and what you're doing now. So if you want to kind of take us through from being a teenager working in the family business to right now, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity. I've been in the food business since I was 14, so going on 35 years now. Officially, I did a little bit of work for my family before that, sort of off the books, helping out where I could. My dad first bought a market in Christiana, Pennsylvania, in 1987. From when I was 10 till about 14, I would pick up shifts here or there whenever he needed help, had a big order coming in around Thanksgiving or Christmas. Or if we just had a snow day and nobody was going to be home, we get pulled up to the store and we started learning the trade. My two brothers, my sister and I were, always around, always working. But he started with his partner in Christiana in 1987. They bought this building here in Ursuline, or East Fallowfield, in 1988, and then they actually purchased a third store in Paradise shortly after. This is the only one still in operation. We've been here as Triple Fresh since 1989. We're the third family to own this building. This building has been here since 1818. Currently involved in the business. My dad's still here every day. He is president of the company and still cuts meat, and he loves being here 6 days a week. Myself, I do a little bit of everything here. I joke that my unofficial job title is member of the family. There's nothing I don't do. There isn't any aspect of the company that I haven't been involved with since I was a teenager. My brother Mike is our general manager. He is currently our head chef as well. So he oversees our catering and market operations. My sister-in-law, Sarah, is our catering director. In a couple of hours here, my son will start his shift. So he's third generation here at Triple Fresh. He started learning the deli. He does dishwashing. So he's really starting to get involved. He does a lot of catering with me as well, and his uncle and aunt.
Wow. Jim, it's interesting because that's a nice segue for Isabella. You're talking about family business. I run a family business with my dad. I'm second generation. We do financial planning in Exton. But Isabella's business is a little bit more close to home, Isabella.
Yeah, my parents own a restaurant. So, especially when you said that your title was member of the family, I completely get that because you just kind of have to jump in wherever you can when you're working with family. So, I completely get that.
That is very true. It's a very specialized kind of set of skills when you have to learn everything and anything and learn it on the fly and just be expected to do it.
Yeah. Is that what it was like for you too, Isabella, growing up with it?
Yeah, I was expected to know how to do every position, either waitressing, counter, kitchen. So, it's just like that.
Multiple hats, right, Jim?
Yes, always.
All right. So I know before we kind of got started with our show today, we talked a little bit about your background. You've not been in the family business your whole life.
I have not. I actually went to college for film and video, and then shortly after graduation, got a job in the field, worked there for about 3 years before coming back. I got to see a totally different side of the world. I was working on commercials, television shows, did a couple of movies as a grip and an electric, and had a lot of fun doing it. Like I said, it just a totally different world, totally different aspect of life that I hadn't experienced before. But in the end, decided to come back to the food business, to the family business, and I've been here since I got back about 20 years.
What led to you wanting to come back?
Well, so the original store in Christiana came up for sale. My dad asked me if I was interested in coming back and running a second store for us. We decided to go in and reopen it and see how that worked out. So I took the opportunity to come back.
Got it. And then, what was your inspiration to want to go into film? I mean, you grew up in this family business. Yeah, what was,
Actually came out of high school. I was my freshman year just looking for an activity, something to do, something to get involved in. I don't remember how, but somehow I got involved in the stage crew for the school play, and just ended up loving it. Loving that little bit of show business. Always behind the scenes. I don't, never want to be in front. I don't want to be in front of the camera. I don't want to be on stage. But I really enjoy the behind the scenes and getting things done and getting things taken care of and appreciated that nice smooth movement where nobody even knew you were there. It was done. Somebody else got the glory, for what you did, and you could just sit back and take pride in it.
That had to be really fulfilling to kind of see things like start from nothing and then become this production.
Very much so. Enjoyed being there from in a way that's really translated to what I do here, especially with catering, it's everything else. It's putting on that show from scratch, from just a piece of paper and an outline that comes down from our sales team, and then standing there at the wedding or at the show or seeing what I did on television, and knowing my piece of that, and how we saw it from not existing at all to this finished product.
So, if you're thinking back to the time you spent in the film industry and now you're translating that to the work you're doing in the family business, what's one thing that you took from your experience that you're able to apply now, day in and day out?
It's definitely that hard work. Like I said, working behind the scenes, taking care of all those little details, so that when the time comes, everything is taken care of and ready to go and nice and smooth. And whether it's the director saying action or a customer walking in my door, or the bride and groom walking into their wedding. They don't see all of the work that was going on behind the scenes. They don't see everything that's under the surface. They just see that smooth finished product.
And for our listeners that are watching on the video, I'm pulling up now the website. And it says here in your background that the hometown market since 1818, is that right?
That's correct. The original building, which we've you can still see here in the store if you know where to look, was originally built in 1818 by the Pierces, and it has been here since.
Got it. So I didn't know that whole story. So the Pierces built this in 1818, and that's still the operation in operations today.
Yes. So it's when you come in our front door, it's actually the back section of the building, but you can see the pillars that served as the original outer wall. And then over the years, the Pierces, the Websters, and the Petros, we all built onto it. But that the original core of the building still stands.
And then your dad purchased it in 1987.
Yes. So that's we purchased the store then, and became Triple Fresh a couple of years later.
That's incredible because you think about today, there's very few. I mean, I don't see many of these. Isabel, I'm not sure if you do.
No, neither do I.
You see the big convenience stores and the gas stations, but you don't typically see these family stores as much. Although we did have someone on last time recently with Heritage's Isabella. That's another
Yeah.
family. since the Depression. They started. I think they started in the 1930s. This is even older. Um,
We can't find anything that says there's any grocery store that in the country that's any older than us.
Amazing.
So we tend toward the claim of being the oldest grocery store in the country.
That is really cool. Well, and with your leadership, you'll be around for much longer. Jim, tell me about your mission. If you can kind of like articulate, what does this mission mean to you? The mission statement.
Sure. Well, what it really boils down to is giving our customers the best experience when they come into the store. Because we're family owned and operated, because our family's here all the time, we want to provide outstanding customer service. We want to be clean and friendly. We want our staff to be well trained. We want when a customer comes in here to receive something they won't receive at a giant supermarket, or a company that's owned internationally or thousands of miles away. You have access to us. So we're here every day. We're working the business. We're looking at it. We handle almost every transaction in some way, and that's not an experience that you'll get someplace else.
I love that. Well, that's actually a perfect setup. Isabella can kind of take us into some questions on what it is you actually do. I think you have multiple lines of business, and we'd like to dig into some of the details and learn a little bit more. So, Isabella, if you want to maybe kick that off.
Yeah, so what exactly, do you offer with Triple Fresh? I know it's like a grocery store, but you also have a deli. There's also catering. So could you just explain a little bit more about that?
Sure. So this corner has always been a market. Again, since 1818, when it was originally opened, it was more of a general store, and it served the farms and communities around here. Over time, that's adapted, but we continue to offer basically all the lines that you'd find in a major grocery store. We have the deli, we have a meat department with a butcher on staff 7 days a week. We offer dairy and frozen and grocery and we don't have necessarily the variety. I don't have 17 brands of mustard, but we have basically anything you need. When you come in, you can do your full shopping here, or just use this as a quick source to stop in and grab a few groceries on the way home. In When we expanded in 2000 onto this side, we added a full takeout section as well. So we always offered hoagies since my dad took over hoagies, breakfast sandwiches, takeout coffee. We really expanded that menu 25 years ago, now we offer fryer foods, we offer cheesesteaks and hoagies and sandwiches and many specialty sandwiches. Today, for example, we launched the fried shrimp po' boy as a Lent special on Fridays during the Super Bowl and leading up to it, and we're still offering it. It's 50-cent wings on Sundays. So we have all of that as well. As far as our catering, a few years back we split our catering off to a slightly separate company, and that is Dough Run Catering. That allows us to not only do the catering that you'd expect from Triple Fresh Market, the stuff that we always did here, hoagie trays and roast beef pans and meatball pans and things like that, but we offer full service catering as well. So we do weddings, we do corporate events, we do family reunions. We have a whole specialty barbecue menu, which is largely what I do for catering. We do chicken and ribs and pig roasts and burgers and dogs and that kind of thing. Like I said, as well as upscale appetizers for events or really whatever kind of event that you're looking for, we handle a lot. Everything from pick up and drop off here at the market or to your event to a fully staffed bartenders and servers and chefs and rentals and everything else that you need.
Wow, that's awesome. So you do weddings, it looks like too, here you said.
We do. Yep. We work with several local venues. As you see there, Casablanca and I'm sorry, I lost the name of it, as Midway Arches, and we work with a lot of local venues on that. If a We're on several lists as a preferred vendor, but we also we'll work with venues that we haven't been to before to facilitate if a bride or groom wants us to come in and work that event for them.
And you also do work for companies too, like company luncheons and stuff like that.
We do. We do anything again from a pickup here at the store to a delivery and setup, or as you see in the picture here, we do open houses and corporate events where we'll provide servers and again bartenders and kind of do the full nine.
Amazing. And if someone wanted to plan an event here locally, they could. I guess they could do it right here on the tab on the website, Dough Run Catering, plan your event. So on the
Yes.
website, Dough Run Catering, plan your event, and you can fill out your form if you'd like to book it for a corporate or a wedding or other type of event.
Yes. So on this site here, you could order directly for pickup or delivery. Or if you're planning on something a little bigger, give us a call. Sarah is happy to talk to everybody. We'll help you plan the event. We'll help make suggestions. We can even help you find a venue or a place to hold it. So we'll help you out in any way we can.
That's awesome. Any questions on that, Isabella?
I think you also mentioned that you guys have a brewery, right? The
We
brewing,
do.
Ursula Brewing.
A couple of years ago, we started Ursulden Brewing Company here at Triple Fresh Market. So we offer our own line of beer, our own labels. We have about a dozen different varieties that we cycle through. They're only available for sale here in the market or through Dough Run Catering. So we'll bring them to a catering event as well if you wish.
Yep, and we'll include information on the Facebook page and the website so that our listeners can follow along and get set up. One question I had for you specifically was around where you're sourcing the food. I'm seeing a lot of things here about clean and fresh and local. So maybe just take me through the food that you're sourcing. Who supplies the food to Triple Fresh that you're selling then to the public?
Sure. We have many different sources where we get our food from. We use a couple of suppliers out of Lancaster County. We use suppliers out of Chester County. We use as many local vendors as we can. So we offer local beef from Dr. Elkin's farm. We offer local produce. We work with an Amish farmer who will actually set up a produce stand here on the corner during the summers. Um, we we then also work with a lot of local small vendors like Swarm Bust Honey. We have Bella Pizzelle. We have a lot of different vendors like that that will come in and speak to us, offer us either specific products or a line of products. We work with Taste of Puebla in Kennett Square. We carry their salsas and chips. So there's a lot of vendors like that that we like to use. And we entertain a lot of different things, sometimes not just food items, but if someone brings us something that's kind of an adjunct to that, we'll speak to them as well about what we can do.
So take me back to the meats. So you're getting some of these meats from local farms?
We do. There's one specific line we carry, and it's Dr. Elkins.
Okay,
They offer Angus beef patties and ground beef. Or they're the two items mainly that we're carrying from them right now.
got it. And then you said you have a butcher that's in-house?
We do. Right now, the butcher, well, today the butcher is me. I'm filling in with my dad on vacation. But 5 days a week, it's my dad is down behind the counter and he's cutting meat for us. And then there's a couple of others to fill in so he gets a day off once in a while.
Okay, and I don't know a whole lot about this, but when I'm thinking of butcher, you're not actually like people don't bring you a deer and you're not butchering that here.
Unfortunately, no, we're not set up for that. We've been asked that many times, but we don't have the facilities for it. There are places around here that do that much better than we would. But we do bring in some subprimals. So we're long past the days. I saw while you were scrolling through before. There's a picture of Tony. Tony was one of our butchers for a very long time. We joked that he actually came with the store when my dad purchased the store. Tony was here, and he just stayed on with us for decades. He would tell us stories about when he was learning the trade. They would get the sides of beef. So when the delivery came, there was a carcass hanging in the locker from one of those old-fashioned meat hooks. And when you wanted something, the butcher literally went back and cut it off of it for you.
Wow.
You know, well, we don't do that anymore. But we do get what they call subprimal, so those pieces that are already cut down into certain sections, and then we work them from there. So we'll cut roasts and chops and steaks, and we can do all that to order.
So when I went on your website, it looks like there's something called a meal plan. What's a meal plan?
So these are different meat packages. So for example, the belly filler or the winner chicken dinner, they just allow you to get a selection of meat, all in one box. A lot of people will do this to kind of fill the freezer. Order a couple of these, and then we can freezer wrap it for you. You stick it in the freezer, and as you're ready, you pull them out. People will do these for events that they're having. They're having family over. They're doing a barbecue out back, so they'll get the mixed chicken plan, and then be able to grill up everything and serve it all at once.
It's amazing, and it's reassuring knowing that it's coming from a local source.
Yes, again, if we can source it locally, we do. But also, we work with national suppliers to keep the price down as much as we can.
Cool. I like that. Isabella, I've never seen anything like this where they have meal plans in the grocery stores.
No, but I think that's interesting and a really good idea.
Totally.
Thank
Um,
you.
you also mentioned honey, so we've learned a little bit about honey, haven't we, Isabella?
Yeah, Tom Mallon was on our show and he was telling us about how he harvests honey. And it was really interesting to learn about.
I believe that would be.
Yeah, it was fascinating. So you're getting honey locally?
We do. We get it from Swarm Boston Honey. So they have a full line of honey, and they keep that well supplied for us. A lot of different flavors, a lot of really good stuff. And people will travel here for it. We're one of the few places in the area that carry it.
I'll have to try that. I was in talking with Tom, when we were interviewing him, he was saying that there are certain qualities in the honey locally that help you with like your immune system. So I'm not a
That is
doctor,
true.
but it was interesting. Yeah, okay, so it is okay. That's really interesting.
Yep, these guys told me the same thing, and actually that got me onto trying their bee pollen.
No way.
I have been doing that now for about a year and a half. Taking a little bit of bee pollen every morning to help with seasonal allergies, just the vitamins and things that are in it, a nice natural source.
That's amazing. Bee pollen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, one of the things that Isabella and I are working on is we're trying to figure out more about how the food is getting from wherever it's being produced, manufactured, created, carved up to our tables, and what's going into the food along the way. So it's interesting because we're just at the very beginning stages of this, but we're trying to provide our listeners with information and insights so that they can make more informed decisions about the foods that they are purchasing. So,
It's a very good thing to look at. My wife is a nutritionist, aside from this side of the business where I see it, I have learned actually a lot
okay.
about additives, ingredients, things to watch out for, things that you're looking for in a label, clean ingredients, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we might be enlisting our help, Isabella.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else about Triple Fresh or the catering company, Dough Run Catering, or the brewery that you'd like to share that you think would be impactful for our listeners?
The way we certainly approach the business is that, like I said, it's family owned and operated. It's small. We're highly involved in everything. So we're here for customer service. We're happy to help customers that come into the store that have questions about, like you said, about ingredients and where the food comes from and anything that we can help out with. People who are just starting to plan events, weddings and big events like that. People have never done things like that before. That can be a big and scary project. We're here and happy to help to talk to people about things, and we're always open to helping people out in any way we can. That's why we have our charity, Triple Fresh Neighbors. We love to be able to help our community, the people around us. and we're here to serve.
So it's a good segue. We were going to turn our attention to basically how you are helping, and I know you do help a lot of local nonprofits. So we're just on your website now, and we're looking at donating and what that process looks like. Do you want to take us through some of the charitable work that Triple Fresh is involved in?
Sure. Well, of course, as the market, and we've been here well over 30 years now, we would get requests all the time from just from local charities, local churches, people looking to have a fundraiser or an event, that really got us involved in a lot of different things. So the more requests we got, the more we said, you know what, this is the right thing to do. We really need to help, in any way we can. We want to be there for our neighbors. We always have. That was one of the tenets that my dad really established when he got this business going, was to be available to our neighbors, to be available to our community and help in any way that they ask us to. So we do. And as you can see here, we do anything from direct donations. We do fundraising events through catering, or if we can donate food or discount food to try to help with fundraising events. We do hoagie sales. So we do have a lot of churches that do local hoagie sales. They'll sell coupons to their constituents, and then they'll bring the coupon back in. And then the church can raise money that way. We have a register jar, of course, next to all our registers where people can drop spare change. And then that goes into our Triple Fresh Neighbors. And we distribute that then to local charities that we support. And we've done food drives. We've done them with Fiorenza's Food for Friends. We've done them with, we've had, for example, local school children who need service time. And they need to run, to do something, and they've done a food drive. So we established them here at the store, and they collect food as people are coming in and out.
Yeah, let's cover a few of the charities. We won't go through all of them, but on your website here, um, looks like we have a couple. So David's Drive.
David's Drive is established right around the corner here. They are one of our favorite charities. We have worked with them a very long time. They are great people. They work with veterans. They've done a lot of fantastic events. David's Drive is named for David Turner, who actually was an employee here at Triple Fresh. He unfortunately died at a very young age. However, that's what led to his parents, his family, starting David's Drive 831. And like I said, they just do a fantastic job. We love them. We support them in any way we can.
Amazing. I did not know about them. That's a really neat story. And then
I
there we
highly
are.
recommend looking into them.
Yeah.
They do a where it started, and it's coming up soon, is their underwear drive. One of the things that Dave noticed when he worked up at the VA hospital, the local hospital here, VA hospital here, was that a lot of the veterans were missing necessities like socks and underwear. So that was really kind of where their mission started. Like I said, they've just done a great job since then.
That's wonderful. And then there's the relationship that we have had together. And take us back a little bit. I know we've done some food recovery, we've done some food drives in the past.
Sure. Yep, we did food drive here for the next one, actually, the Phoenixville Area Community Services. We've done food recovery and worked with Bridgeway House and with St. Joseph's House, both local charities right in our neighborhood here. We've done a lot of things. I think we have been connected with Fiorenza's Food for Friends for probably 5 or 6 years now. We're always happy to continue working with you guys.
Yeah, and you mentioned Phoenixville, so PAX. You have a relationship there with PAX?
We do. We have a special relationship with PAX. We do a lot of their grocery procurement, but the kind of personal touch on that is my Aunt Mary, Mary Fuller, is actually the executive director at PAX. Again, we would anyway if they came and asked, but we are more than happy to help them with anything they need.
Isabella, remember that interview we had with Mary?
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Yeah, we really learned a lot about the work that PAX is doing. We've been working with them for a number of years too, Jim, and it's in line even with the next organization, the Jubilee Evangelical Ministries. So St. Joseph's House, Jubilee, PAX, those are all organizations that we will work with indirectly. We facilitate the connection to a Triple Fresh, for example, and then you're working with them to collect the food, and that food is going directly to them, or it's food being recovered that would then go to our partners at St. Joseph's House or Jubilee Mission, the Evangelical Ministries in Coatesville. But they're a great organization. I've worked with them for
Yeah.
a long time.
They are, and they've reached out to us directly as well. So we will, we help them out whenever we can. They're again within a couple of miles of our location, so we're directly helping our neighbors.
And I'll go through, I guess there's a couple more here. The
Mhm.
People's Hall.
The People's Hall is actually a building located directly across the street from here. Since my dad and I have become involved with People's Hall, we're both on the board of trustees there. I have learned a lot about the history of this area. This hall dates back to 1845,
Hmm.
and it was founded by the Religious Society of Friends, the Quakers, that were very well established here in East Fallowfield. It was originally founded as an abolitionist hall. Has a lot to do with the Underground Railroad, with the abolitionist movement. Rumor has it that there used to be a tunnel from the People's Hall underneath Route 82 into our basement. The Websters were members of the Religious Society of Friends. I haven't come across anything that said they were directly abolitionists, but like I said, the story was there was a tunnel that came into our building, and people hiding in the local area could use that tunnel to get out of the hall and into here, or vice versa. But we've been on the board of trustees with them for a little over 10 years now, and we're working on restoring the hall.
Is the tunnel still work?
I haven't been able to find it.
No.
Somewhere along the way, the story goes that it was bricked up on this side and sealed in, and might be generations ago that anybody remembered where it was. But we have yet to ever find any evidence of it on our side. In the People's Hall, as soon as you walk in the door, there's like a root cellar directly under, and that's where we figure the tunnel would have started. But again, that was probably also long before they paved Route 82. So I would imagine whatever tunnel existed would have been destroyed when they actually paved it.
So when you go into the People's Hall building and you go to the cellar, is it blocked off? Can you see like where it would be or?
I have not worked up the courage to jump in that hole yet. I've looked at it several times. I've leaned in there with a flashlight, but I can't bring myself to climb in there.
Wow. Oh. Isabella, this is super cool, isn't it?
That is really, really interesting.
Wow. All right. I never knew a hall could be that exciting. All right, then I guess the last one we'll cover is the La Mancha Animal Rescue.
So again, one of our local favorite charities. They are right down the road here, a couple of miles to our south. As you see, they're a no-kill shelter.
Yep.
I think at this point, just about everybody in my family has adopted an animal from there, at least one, if
Mhm.
not many. They're regular customers. They're in here all the time. We've done events down there. We've just made donations to them. If they need something, they just need to come up and ask, and we certainly help them out with it. But they're a great group, a great organization. If you're ever just in the looking for a new pet, or just want to spend a great day on a farm, and kind of petting animals. I mean, they have a wide variety of animals down there, everything from horses to cats, that they rescue and take care of.
I see goats. Do you get goat milk in the store?
We do not, but if someone really wanted it, we would actually find a way, I'm sure.
Wow. So what milk do you carry in the store?
So we carry Swiss milk, which is the our bigger name, but we also carry milk from Bailey's Farm in Westchester. So that is a local, largely organic milk. I don't know they've ever gotten the certification, but it's as close to organic as you can get. So it's I think much better than you're going to get in a mass-produced milk.
Very interesting. Very interesting. And I'm assuming then if you're doing that, you're probably getting eggs local too.
As many as we can. Right now, the egg situation is a little difficult
Yeah.
with all the problems that industry is having. But we do get locally sourced eggs.
So you're in the food industry, or at least you have been.
Mhm.
Um, and I was doing some research on this myself, and I was trying to learn what's happening with the culling. Can you explain what that is to our listeners? Because egg prices have gone up so much, but there is a process, this is my understanding, called culling, where when there's concern of this flu outbreak, they reduce the population, and then that leads to a supply problem. But can you explain that? Do you know anything about that?
As best as I understand it, sure. So there's a couple of problems at work there. They do the culling. So when there's an outbreak, they will destroy the animals to keep it from spreading, to other animals on that farm or spreading from place to place. However, what I've heard it described as right now is a giant game of whack-a-mole. So every time they take care of one outbreak, one pops up someplace else. So it doesn't take long to raise egg-producing chickens. I don't remember what the number is, but it's a period of weeks, not years. So they can refill the population fairly quickly. But the problem is these things keep popping up, and every time they take care of one, there's another. Um, so that is, keeping the price up as the demand has stayed high, but the supply keeps dropping. And it seems to be, from the little bit I understand, fairly random. There's no pattern that they can figure out yet as to where it'll pop up next. So they're constantly reacting, and it makes it very, very difficult to be proactive about it. The other problem they're running into is transportation. So there are plenty of eggs in the country, but getting them from elsewhere in the country to here, for example, to Pennsylvania, is very difficult and expensive. So the shelf life on products like that isn't huge. So you can't store them like you could a frozen food. So transporting them three-quarters of the way or all the way across the country to fill in where there's an egg shortage is extremely difficult and expensive, and that keeps the price high.
Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. Unfortunate, but it makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, Isabella, do you have any other ideas or comments for Jim?
I have no more questions, but it's really great to hear about how your family is so involved in the business, and also that you guys work with charities as well. Because I know a lot of businesses don't exactly get to do that, so that's amazing.
Always happy to do it. It's, really, like we said before, we're very much part of our mission, part of who we are as people and as a company.
Yeah, I feel really privileged today that get a chance to hear about your story, and this is why we do what we do. Part of the whole goal of setting up this show, this podcast, was to bring attention to the great work being done in the community. Yes, we want to raise awareness around hunger and food insecurity, but then we also want to highlight the faces, and you're part of that, Jim, that are helping to kind of combat hunger and food insecurity, whether it be through monetary donations or donations of products, through food recovery. Because at the end of the day, nobody should be going hungry. There's a lot of opportunity to feed people, and we just want to make sure that we are connecting those dots. So your efforts are appreciated very much.
Well, thank you. Always glad to help, and we really appreciate what you guys do as well. Helping us to help people, making those connections for us, and everything you've done to help us out with that is fantastic, and we really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Well, with that, until our next time we speak, I am Derek Fiorenza with the F4 Hunger Awareness Show, joined with my partner,
Isabella Ambrosino.
and we were grateful today. We had Jim Petro from Triple Fresh and Dough Run Catering. Did a wonderful job giving us a nice overview of his family business, multi generations. We thank you for listening, and we look forward to having you join us on our next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you.